babies.
25 years ago, I became the first woman to graduate from the Citadel, the Military College of South Carolina. I fought my way through it.
So pronounce her name right.
Sweat, and tears.
So pronounce her name right.
Kamala Harris, if
Kamala.
Flashback.
City and state leaders, but as Kamala said,
Kamala are here today to make a major announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Bad news for the Kamala nomenon, for Cacklementum, for Kamala, I don't know. I need more puns. As she is now, it looks like she is going to be sued over stealing the credibility of local press to endorse her when they actually didn't. Also, CNN had a complete meltdown over somebody mispronouncing Kamala nominon's name and called it all the predictable things. Simply put, the mainstream media has gone with, if you criticize how Kamala Harris is trying to destroy this country and force it into Venezuela 2.0, you have a problem with their skin color. Let me say now and forever, I think Kamala Harris is the dumbest person on the planet, and it has nothing to do with their skin color. I legitimately believe that Kamala Harris aims to destroy this country and that people should not hold back their criticism no matter how mean it may seem, because her policies will turn America into Venezuela. You don't need to have an economics degree to look at the outcome of policies like government price control. Simply look at Venezuela. Look at what any Google search will tell you is the outcome of government-imposed price control. It's hyperinflation and scarcity. Venezuela. Is that what you want? Look, I have been extremely timid on this woman, but I'm telling you now that her policies are extremely dangerous, and you cannot print money to get out of a recession. Our government has been kicking the can down the road, both Republicans and Democrats, for a very long time. And the idea of printing more money or more gigantic first-time homebuyer credits and all this stuff to buy more votes is absolutely destructive. But first, let's get into radio station now threatening legal action against Harris campaign after her campaign used their article to make it look like they had backed her candidacy. Uh-oh. So I didn't know this radio station must have had a problem with race. The radio station is blasting Harris after she used their website to trick online users. They lied to every single person who saw the ad, said Steve Hallstrom, president of Field Consulting Group. We have reached out to the Harris campaign and demanded they terminate this ad immediately, and we are considering all options here, including legal action. This is not right, and they should not be allowed to get away with this and tarnish our reputation, whether it's family-owned North Dakota company like ours or a major national news organization. This development comes after Axios revealed the Harris campaign was using Google ads to trick online users into thinking reputable news sites were giving her a favorable rating. CNN apparently had no problem with it. This is why the polls look the way they do. This is why they're trying to blackpill Trump supporters. And make no mistake about it, I don't call myself a Republican. I'm a Trump guy, okay? And in 4 years, hopefully, after Trump wins, the Republicans can get their stuff in order and get rid of the boomer cons and the neocons and the rhinos. If not, I don't know where I'm going to vote in 4 years. But right now, the policies that are being presented by the Kamalanomics Committee are actually so dangerous that I can't possibly look past this election. The next 4 years, your family's ability to pay the bills, to buy gasoline, to buy groceries, will be directly affected by who you vote for in 2024. Don't wait for someone else to vote. Don't hope for the best. Register to vote and vote for Donald Trump. That's the only way that I believe you can save this economy. I know Trump has criticisms. There are things you can criticize him on, whether it's Operation Warp Speed or whether it was not getting much done in terms of Section 230 reform. I don't care, because the realistic alternative now is full-blown socialism and Venezuela 2.0. Even the media knows this. When the Washington Post actually wrote opinion. Now, the Washington Post, which is a Democrat shill outlet, okay? When your opponent calls you a communist, maybe don't propose price controls. This is from the Washington Post. It's hard to exaggerate how bad Kamala Harris' price gouging proposal is. Now, I am not, an economics major. And so I learn a lot about economic policy on the fly, like a lot of you do. All right. And I would never hold, I don't think like people should, you should berate people for not knowing every specific thing about every little policy. But when people hear, oh, the government's going to stop people from price gouging, they think, oh, that's a great thing, right? That's a great thing. And so it will be covered. The mainstream media will cover this like a positive thing instead of covering the fact that it leads to almost certain disaster. Now, the Washington Post, of all people, have pushed back on it, but very few others will. Again, Milton here says, meanwhile, the swirling backwaters of reality, is reality a thing that the Washington Post now, they're mad that, they called out Kamala Harris is promoting socialism. But meanwhile, CNN is most mad that somebody dared to mispronounce Queen Kamala Nan's name. The same way that Joe Biden says her name. Here's how Joe Biden says Kamala Harris. Kamala. All right. I don't care how you pronounce her name, but here's Joe Biden himself calling her Kamala. Right? Here is CNN after Nancy Mace said Kamala. They accuse her of being a supremacist because she didn't pronounce Kamala's name right.
This congresswoman is a wonderful human being.
Let me start over here.
Michael.
That sounds like self-hatred and justification of white supremacy. And let me just say this.
Oh, by the way, here's Joe Biden actually saying it.
We're all close, but as Kamala said,
Sorry, I didn't have the sound on. So now you hear Biden say Kamala. Nancy Mace says Kamala, and they brought a black guy on to call her racist for it.
Because this congresswoman is a wonderful human being. But when you disrespect Kamala Harris by saying you will call her whatever you want, I know you don't intend it to be that way. That's the history and legacy of white disregard for the humanity of black people.
Oh, so now you're calling me racist.
I didn't say. I just.
Oh, how predictable. How predictable. Criticize her, and what did they say? Oh, that you can't criticize her. That's racist. That's exactly what they did with Hillary Clinton. And they said, you can't criticize Hillary Clinton. That's sexist. You can't do that. You know what? Kamala Harris is actively trying to destroy this country. Her policies are dangerous, and I don't care what people call her.
That is BS. That is complete
You don't have to intend racism to accomplish
You are
it.
Intending that
Your
I am
disrespect
racist,
of Kamala
and
Harris
that
is part and parcel of a
why can't
tradition
you
of
just-
disrespect.
Why
It's
can't you just,
offensive,
Congresswoman,
and it's
why can't you just,
offensive.
I'm not calling you a racist. I'm saying
you are.
All these black snowflakes. I don't think black people are like this. I think they're faking it. They're like, oh my God, you mispronounced her name. Heavens to Murgatroyd. Oh, I'm getting the vapors. Oh, you said Kamala, not Kamala.
What the practice is
You
racist.
are. You absolutely are.
The practice No, what's disgusting is your disrespect of her.
Professor.
This gentleman said, I didn't know her name.
Disgusting
He's
to
trying
women
to do
is
it.
her disrespect of women. She doesn't know what a woman is.
Yeah.
If 25 years ago,
White women don't have the ability to tell black women who paid the price of blood to make this country what it is to tell them.
Oh, please. Because you can never criticize a black person ever because of slavery. Well, I'm sorry. Kamala Harris, her family lineage were not slaves. Pretty sure she's Indian.
They're not real women.
25
They
years
care
ago,
for your babies
25
and
years ago,
respected
I
your
became the
humanity.
first woman to graduate from the Citadel, the military college of South Carolina. I
So call
fought
her
my
name
way
right.
through it.
So pronounce her name right.
Let me
So pronounce her name right.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala.
They're that upset about a weird pause. She's saying it's Kamala, not Kamala. Blah, 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 blah. This is what Democrats are worried about while the economy is teetering on total collapse. And let me be very clear, by the way, you're going to see me ramping up my seriousness a little bit leading up until this election season. And I know it may irritate some people. I try to obviously continue to have fun with things and have fun with, different other topics. But at least once a day, I want to get serious with people. And look, I don't actually think electing Donald Trump is going to stop all of what's coming economically. There is a reckoning that is coming because our government, again, both Republican and Democrat, in particular, since the year 2000, have been kicking the can down the road at an alarming rate. And during the lockdowns, under the Biden administration, there were debts taken. There were deals made that must be repaid. There is a price for printing trillions of dollars and handing it over to people. There has never been pre or right after the lockdowns, American savings were at an all-time high. Now they're at an all-time low, and credit card debt is at an all-time high. What do you think? Do you think that's just going to turn around because you elect somebody? No. However, if you want somebody who's going to provide a soft landing, you vote for Donald Trump. If you want somebody who's going to take the stick of the plane and aim it into the ground and accelerate, that's Kamala Harris's policies. I just, every time they trot up another working class person to endorse Kamala Harris, I am shocked that they know nothing about what this woman will wrought on this country. All right. WAPO busts Kamala in glorious op-ed linking communists to her price controls. She is actually the dumbest person in politics. And anybody who votes for her, I mean, I hope that you have savings, and I hope that you have, cash on hand, and I hope that you don't have credit card debt. I sure hope that you don't have an adjustable rate mortgage. I sure hope that you don't work 2 jobs to pay the bills, because a vote for Kamala Harris is being sold to you as a vote for joy, and the other guy's a mean guy. Well, let me tell you the truth. If you vote for Kamala Harris, her economic policies will make your life far worse. It will make the pain of the economic recovery that we require after years of printing money far worse than the guy with mean tweets. But keep listening to CNN, I guess.